What's going on, YouTube? So I thought I'd give another update this morning. This is right after the really shitty ice week we had here in Texas. So if you're not aware, last week there was an amount of snow that Texas hasn't seen. I've lived here 28 years and I haven't seen that much snow. And it stayed cold for days. Generally, if we get some ice, it'll come down and then melt the next day. Maybe we'll be out of being able to drive around for a day or two, but that actually put people in for multiple days. And our business here, we lost power, we lost water for multiple days. So I unfortunately hadn't been able to work in here in a week now. We were also on a power conservation. So if you can imagine running all these machines, that's not really conserving power. And considering how close they were to damaging machines just due to the draw of power, I didn't want to have any more than necessary, especially when I'm reading reports of other people literally only running their heater, unplugging appliances. So it just wouldn't be fair for me to be over here trying to make a profit when other people are trying to stay warm. So just remember that, guys, if you're ever in a position where your whole city needs to conserve power, go ahead and turn your machines off. That said, it doesn't stop people from contacting me at the end of the week wondering where their stuff is. So we've definitely got to get back to work. Today's Monday, following that week there, and I just wanted to kind of show what was going on with this guy. So this is one of my custom build printers. It's got a 16-inch build plate, pretty decent size, but my two motors in the back here, this one in particular. So, see, I'm trying to move this way, and it's only wanting to go that way. So if I take this, I can feel it. Like, it's easy, and then bam, really, really hard. I can barely. See, you can see. Barely having some trouble there, so we're going to replace these motors. It's very rare that I've had a motor fail. Over 3 years, this will probably be the second, maybe third motor. I think third motor I've had to replace. So not too bad as far as how long they last. My wiring job here is okay. I paid someone to custom build this. They ran this speaker wire, and then they also had some of these smaller wires, and what was it? Over time, actually, it was mostly this before, but this conduit wire was breaking all in here, so I ended up running the heavier duty speaker wire. He had some of it, but I just ran more of it, and it's lasted so far. But yeah, we're gonna get that going. We're gonna do some upgrades to this guy. Gonna give it a direct drive, some stabilization bars, a couple other things. My goal is, because I gotta print 2 of these things, and they're like 2-day prints. Then I gotta print another piece that's bigger than that, and then another piece that fits into that, for one order. And I think this guy wants multiple of these. So I really need these 2 printers, because they're my only 2 biggest printers that can print that. And we're talking about an order that'll be, upwards of $500-700. So we do really need to get this guy going. This guy was wanting to pick this up like 2 weeks ago. So, having the snow put me down, starting it on this one, having the printer break, starting it on that one, and having it warp on the edges. And that was the very first print I did off this printer. So, you generally need 2 to 5 prints to kind of get it tuned in. At least I do for a brand new to me printer. But then there's this guy. Oh man, maybe one of y'all guys can help me out here. Maybe this is where I can source YouTube. If you know anything about these motherboards, this is a CR10S, S Max or just S? Anyways, it's very similar to that one. That one's got its motherboard on the side there. This one has it all integrated here. Now the issue is a client brought me this printer. He'd upgraded the hot end, put a BL Touch on it, put a different heat break on it, and what was it? He ended up shorting the thermistor somehow. And it sent power to it or something like that, and ended up frying it on the board. So the board was only reading like -90, and it just wouldn't read anything else, period. So I went out and bought the new Big Tree SKR Mini, V2. Now this thing's got some really neat features. One of the neatest features that I really like about this is that you don't even need to use end stops. So what this does is you can just ram your X, Y, and Z to the edge, and when it hits that edge and rams, and it's like bup, 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 that tells the motherboard, oh hey, it's ramming, it's jammed, that's the end. So you can set it up without ever needing end stops. Now I like that because end stops are another, I wouldn't say consumable, but they do fail. I've probably replaced 10 end stops over 3 years. So occasionally you'll have to replace an end stop, and that's not too big a deal. But if you don't need them, you don't need them, and that's great, and that's less wiring. I mean, think about that. That's literally 2 wires for one end stop on this side, 2 wires for one end stop on that side, another 2 wires for the end stop going that way, and another 2 wires for the end stop going that way. So you're talking about 8 different sets of wires that now do not need to leave this box area. So when you're talking about having a clean, nice looking setup, only hiding 3 different wires going to your motors there, and maybe another 2 for your fans, or 4, that would be really clean. That would be really nice. So looking forward to possibly getting that working. But the problem here is, guys, this is a stock replacement for an Ender 3 Pro, and I have just not been able to get this thing to flash. So from my understanding, you put a firmware into here, and then you power it up, and it's supposed to just flash that firmware onto the board. Because you put the bin file in here, and then, when you start it up, it does its update, and then boom. Now, you need to do that because I need to change the build size for this printer, and then I need to turn on if I want BL Touch, or if I want that. I think that no end stop mode is called UART, so I'll need UART, and I hadn't been able to just get it to work. I hadn't been able to get it to read a printer. I hadn't been able to move any of the end stops. I was thinking that it wasn't reading this SD card. I haven't been able to get it to read an SD card at all. So I literally bought another one. Look, here's a second motherboard right here. This is a $90 motherboard, so I'm 160, 80 bucks in this thing already, and I can't get this thing to work. And I feel really bad because, this client brought me this printer a long time ago, and I've been, really, really, really trying to figure out what is wrong with it and how to fix it. See, I got different jumpers on this one trying to enable that UART, but it's the same thing on this one. And I've tried doing it through Arduino and Marlin, and I'm not the end-all expert when it comes to everything, but I've flashed things on Marlin, I've flashed things through Arduino, and I've updated firmwares through the SD card. But this motherboard, it's like the newest, coolest, all the latest features, but I just cannot figure it out. So if y'all guys can maybe find some type of much easier tutorial, or you want to point me in the right direction, that would be fantastic. But right now, I'm having a hard time just figuring that out, so I hope other people have had a good time with that board. But it's really throwing me for a loop, and I might have to return those if I can't get them going. Sorry for my sniffling and nasal congested nose. But what else, guys? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of give an update. I want to do some regular videos. I wanted y'all to see what I was up to this morning. It's literally very early in the morning, so it's like I couldn't sleep. I think it's 4 a.m. But it's a bit messy in here. We've got, stuff everywhere. This was the cart that my friend brought that in. We got the kitties everywhere. What was it? These King Runes, though. I know if you've watching this video, you've possibly seen some of my other videos of me talking about these King Runes, but they're a fantastic printer. I just got to reiterate that one more time. And they've actually been selling really well recently. So since I started, I only have one post of these guys on Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of people are hitting me up. People are super happy about being able to come out here and buy one fully assembled. I've even had a couple people come out for the Octopi setup as well, so they buy it with Octopi already set up. So that's super, super cool. And I've only had, I think, 2 people that you occasionally find the bargain hunters that will only pay the cheapest price they can possibly find an item for, and they're like, oh, you're too expensive. And it's like, I'm sorry, making $10 is too expensive for me to teach you how to use these and maintenance them and show you how to set it up in Cura. And for anybody that's doing 3D printing, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably have a 3D printer. Setting this guy up is easy. But for a lot of these people that are brand new, and you might be very familiar with this, you know, it can take weeks to months to just get a print if you don't have one just set up and ready to go. And you know, if you don't have it set up and ready to go, you don't know how to get there. You don't know what you need to tune or adjust to get there, and that's understandable. A lot of people get in that boat. It's not hard, but a lot of it's those easy fixes that take 30 seconds to a minute to do, you know, maybe 5 minutes to fix, but it can take days or weeks to figure out which one of those little problems it is. So anyways, I don't need to ramble on here, guys. I'm really good at doing that. But thanks for checking in with me, and if I can get some more updates, I'll see if I can't start this video up a little later. Maybe I'll give you after a 4 or 5 hour update after a couple cups of coffee, and I get these guys moving. So we'll film some of these guys moving, and I'll talk about some of my other projects. But have a good afternoon, a good morning. I hope everyone is safe and doing okay from the storm. Please comment down below if you had anything crazy happen. I do want to mention, just on a relation to that storm, my parents were on a variable energy bill, and they got a $4,000 energy bill for a week. So y'all guys, you know, if you own your own house or if you're renting and you have an electric bill, make sure you're on a fixed electric bill. There's services out there. There's multiple different services that will help you find a really good deal. I personally recommend fixed rates, period. Because I've never met anyone that had a variable rate and had a good time with it. You know, it's always a good time for 6 to 8 months, and then one summer, one winter, you know, one snowstorm, and then bam, you're paying $700,000, $800,000, $4,000, some people up to $10,000 and more dollars for 1 month's electric bill. And people just don't have the money for that. You know, not in today's day and age, not in the middle of COVID. So, you know, just a PSA there. But, yeah, guys, have a good afternoon. I hope you're all safe. Comment if anything happened in the snowstorm. I ended up popping one of my tires. I had a curb in my Dodge Ram pickup, but we got it fixed, got it aligned. No other damage, so that was pretty easy. Had some pipes freeze, but nothing burst, nothing broke. You know, a little bit of water drained into the kitchen. Had to clean all that up, but otherwise, we played it safe. Not having power sucks. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate. You know, thousands and thousands of people here in Texas didn't have power and water. So, but it's a good thing we're all safe here, and we'll get you another update here soon, guys. Thanks for joining 3D Print Everything this morning, and yeah, keep melting.